to ESI Africa Insights. For this episode, I am speaking with Kiren Maharaj, who is the chairperson of SANEA. Welcome, Kiren.
Thank you very much, Nicolette.
So, Kiren, from a SANEA perspective, and looking at the South African Energy Skills Roadmap, there was research done into that. And we need to then understand what is going to happen with jobs, specifically in the coal industry, where we transition to renewable energy. Is South Africa in a good place to actually manage that?
Well, I think we are in a good place from a point of view as we know what the impact is going to be. We may not have studied the impact as extensively as I think we need to before we make financial decisions, but we know quite a few things. We know what kind of technologies we would deploy in the renewable energy space. We know the timeline that we're going to have to make the decisions about the coal plant. We also know when other new types of technologies are expected to come in. So, for example, the drive now with the latest IRP to introduce a gas-to-power program, which creates lots of job opportunities. So I think we've got a lot of information around what's going to happen going forward. The challenges that we have now is to look at the job families, and we've done a lot of this work in identifying it in the Energy Skills Roadmap. Look at the job families that could be deployed as the transition advances, and start identifying individuals whose jobs would be impacted, and training them to do this. There's a lot of companies out there that have put wonderful models together that can take people in existing jobs and reprofile them for future training opportunities. But there's a bigger question at play, which I think is as important to address, and that is the downstream and upstream jobs that come out of these industries, the communities that they impact, the small businesses in those communities. So it's not just the direct footprint of the coal plants and the coal mines, it's that much more extended footprint. One of the other findings of the Skills Roadmap was the extensive collaboration and partnering that's going to be needed across the different organizations in the training value chain, should I say the skills development and capability building value chain, that's going to have to come together to work on new qualifications, rollout of new programs, and perhaps even a little bit more efficiency and effectiveness in adapting to this very quick environment.
So it is top of mind in terms of South African businesses and the people that are directly employed, and as you say, the communities around that and the other business sectors. And I think that SANEA is well placed to be speaking on that research. You have just reached 100 years, your anniversary, and the organization is definitely well placed to present to the market the solutions that we have on the table. So there's also something that you have been involved in, that is a risk report.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What has been found from that report?
Yes, thank you. So yes, to remain in business for 100 years, I think you've got to be agile and resilient, and that in itself requires a good purview on how you respond to uncertainties. And when we started with the risk report in 2018, that was the first year that we issued it. So 6 reports, down the line. We released a report yesterday, so it's available on our website. So some interesting things about the report is that, and something that concerns me is that if I look at the list of regional uncertainties that we started with, and I mean we've pegged it, these uncertainties against achieving strategic goals and objectives, like for example in the National Development Plan. That list by and large remains unchanged. So the uncertainties have either decreased in from an impact perspective or changed pace, but the list is relatively static, and that says that as decision makers we are not necessarily addressing some of the issues. So we've changed the risk report and added 3 years ago a framework for addressing some of these, and we call it the 4IP framework, and it looks at implementation, innovation, integration, and has people at the hub of it. And the issues around people continue to change, and hence the skills roadmap, which was born out of this conversation about risk. What do we do about the future skills mix? So people remain at the hub of addressing these risks, and it continues to come out time and time again. So some of the new changes that we're going to face that have new uncertainties that have come into the report is around market trends and governance. I think we want to look more deeply at industrialization and some of the solutions that can be put in place around industrialization. But I have to iterate that there are lists of long-standing uncertainties that we as business, government, and the policymakers, as well as the people who can influence the sector, really haven't dealt with to date. So what we hope with this risk report is to again bring out key information for decision makers to take into consideration as they navigate their own business challenges. We've provided some case studies and deep dives on several, I think, important topics. One cannot have this conversation without a topic on skills and talent, deep dive on skills and talent, and we've looked into things like market trends, etc., just to give a little bit more context to what can be expected, and what should be happening to shift these uncertainties in the short term, like about 18 months.
Perfect. That sounds like a report that we all need to be reading.
Yes.
And I believe that SANEA has an event coming up, and you will be talking about the analysis that has come through from that. When is that event?
So we've got our major event that's coming up in the next few months. Is on the 31st of July and the 1st of August. It is our inaugural leadership conference. So what we've looked at is, if we want to support the pillar of P at the people, at the cog of addressing the challenges that we have, let's start from the top. So we are going to have our inaugural leadership conference, and I think it fills a very good gap in terms of a critical dialogue in the country that complements most of the other conversations we have around technology and sustainability, and that is to address the role of leadership in guiding organizations and both the private and public sector in these challenging times, and dealing with this ever-changing world that we have and all of the new innovation that's coming up. So yes, we're having this conversation on the 31st of August and the 31st of July and 1st of August. And I think it's going to be a new and cutting-edge conversation. We've got some really fantastic events planned. We're lining up many of the key executives in the country in the sector and related sectors related to energy that we believe would have real value to add and insights to add into this kind of conversation.
Thank you so much, Kiren. And if people can find out more about the event on the ESI Africa website.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video and have a powerful day.